It begins sooner than you think. Not at Halloween. Not at the end of the month when the costumes and candles take the stage. It begins now, in the very first week of October. You may have felt it already, the restlessness in your body, the strange heaviness pressing at your chest, the sudden awakenings in the middle of the night as if something unseen has reached out and tapped your spirit awake. These things are not accidents. They are not random quirks of sleep or mood. They are signals, messages carried not through words but through weight, through light, through the silent pull of planets. Because the sky is setting a stage. And this stage is not meant for everyone. It is meant for the ones who can see. It is meant for the chosen. On October 6th, the moon meets Saturn. This is no casual alignment. It is a collision between softness and steel, between the dreamer and the judge, between the light that feels and the weight that commands. The moon wants to drift, to glow, to soften. Saturn wants to anchor, to test, to remind. When these two meet, you feel it inside your bones, like the warmth of intuition suddenly being pressed down by the cold hand of authority. You feel pulled in two directions. Part of you longs to wander, to dream, to break free. Another part feels chained to duty, responsibility, and expectations that refuse to let go. This is the tension of October's beginning, not light, not random, but deliberate. A test. A threshold. And then, only a day later, the Harvest Supermoon rises, October 7th. The night when the sky itself refuses to go dark. The night when light pours so massively across the earth that nothing can stay hidden. This is no ordinary full moon. It is one of the brightest of the entire year. It is a lantern not just in the sky but in your soul, showing you exactly what you've planted over the past months, what you've worked toward, what you've run from, what you've secretly hoped would never be revealed. The harvest moon does not ask for permission. It does not whisper politely. It reveals. It exposes. It declares. And when it follows Saturn's heavy hand, the effect is unmistakable. First, you are pressed. Then you are revealed. This is why the first week of October feels so unrelenting. Because it is. It's not here to comfort, it's here to carve. Saturn arrives like a gatekeeper, standing tall, unbending, asking one question only, are you ready? And the moon, blazing so bright you cannot look away, answers by showing the truth. Not the truth you want. Not the truth you pretend. But the truth of what you've really chosen, what you've really built, what you've really carried inside. The chosen ones will feel this double force most of all. Because chosen ones are never tested casually. They are tested in storms. If this week feels heavy, if you feel pulled apart, if you feel restless at night and overwhelmed by day, remember this. It is not punishment. It is proof. Pressure only comes to those carrying something valuable. Saturn does not waste weight on the empty. It presses only those who are ready to rise. The harvest moon does not shine on the hidden. It shines on those ready to be seen. Together they ask you, will you bow to fear? Or will you stand in truth? Saturn's test is not always loud. Sometimes it comes as subtle disapproval, a quiet glance that makes you doubt yourself. Sometimes it is heavier, an authority figure demanding more than usual, a boss pulling rank, a parent pressing expectations, a law that suddenly feels tighter, harsher, impossible to ignore. But no matter how it arrives, it carries the same essence. Will you collapse under the weight of someone else's command? Or will you hold your ground in your own truth? True authority is not about who commands you. It is about who you refuse to betray within yourself. And that is the gate Saturn guards. When you stand in this pressure, something unexpected begins to spark, a quiet no that wasn't there before. A refusal that rises from deep within. Not rebellion for its own sake, but alignment. A soul-deep recognition. This does not fit me anymore. For the chosen ones, this is the turning point, the moment where external authority loses its grip, where inner authority steps forward, unshakable. This is the gift hidden inside the trial. The more you are pressed, the more your real shape is revealed. The more you are tested, the more unbreakable your core becomes. And then the moon arrives, not soft, not quiet, not subtle. It arrives blazing, flooding, unmasking. The harvest moon shines like a cosmic mirror. It shows you everything at once: the triumphs and the failures, the strengths and the flaws, the seeds you planted and the weeds you ignored. It doesn't choose, it reflects. For some, this means reward, opportunities appearing, manifestations dropping into your lap, the long-awaited results finally arriving. For others, it means confrontation, the realization that procrastination has cost you, that avoidance has built a wall, that illusions can no longer hold. For most, it is both. Revelation is always double-edged. October does not wait until the end of the month to flip the switch. It begins immediately. The veil thins in the very first week. The atmosphere shifts. The shadow moves. And suddenly, what felt like a normal transition becomes something far more spiritual. This is why you cannot sleep. This is why you toss and turn. This is why clarity arrives at 3 a.m. uninvited. Because the sky is not letting you drift through this week unconsciously. It is keeping you awake on purpose. It is shaking your rhythm into alignment with its own. The insomnia, the vivid dreams, the sudden awakenings, these are not flaws. They are initiations. Chosen ones especially will feel this most sharply. You wake not because your body is restless, but because your soul is being pulled into the dialogue of the unseen. Each night becomes a message. Each disruption becomes a signal. Saturn whispers, "Face the truth." The moon declares, "See the path." And together, they keep you from sleeping through your own becoming. This is the clash: emotion versus logic, freedom versus duty, dream versus discipline. The moon wants you to soar. Saturn demands you to anchor. And in the pull between the two, your strength is forged. The blessing of the harvest cannot be handed to you casually. It must be earned, proven, carried. Otherwise, its light would blind instead of guide. That is why this week is so charged. Why the pressure feels unbearable. Why your nights feel disturbed. Because you are being prepared, not punished, prepared. And now, as the supermoon light begins to fade from the sky, you may think the test is complete. But what many don't realize is that the real harvest doesn't happen in the night of light. It happens in the silence that follows. The moon has shown what needed to be revealed. Saturn has measured what needed to be weighed. And now, you are left with the echo. The question is no longer what was revealed. The question is, what will you do with it? Because harvest is never only about receiving. It is also about carrying, about holding, about becoming the steward of what has come to you. And for the chosen ones, this is the hardest part. Not the test, not the revelation, but the responsibility of what follows. You see, after every gate of truth, there comes a valley of choice. And October's supermoon was not just the ending of one cycle, but the beginning of a deeper one. A cycle where the spotlight is no longer on the illusion but on your action. And here is where the separation sharpens. The masses, dazzled by the glow of the supermoon, will quickly return to their routines. But you, the awakened, the watcher, the one who heard the thunder in the silence, you cannot go back. Because once the veil has been lifted, your eyes can never close again. October is a threshold month. The harvest moon has gathered the fruits. But Saturn is still watching. The alignment was not a single night of testing. It is a season of refining. This is why in the coming days, you may feel a strange pull within you, a weight on your chest as if time itself is leaning against your breath. That is Saturn reminding you, you are not done yet. The supermoon revealed. But Saturn ensures you don't forget. This is why you may notice doors closing suddenly, people exiting without explanation, opportunities dissolving before they even formed. It is not punishment. It is precision. The universe does not allow dead weight to follow you into destiny. But here lies the paradox. As some doors close, others will burst open with a force that feels almost violent. Not gentle, not gradual, but like a flood breaking a dam. This too is part of the harvest. Because what is meant for you cannot wait any longer. And so, the universe forces it through, no matter how disruptive it may feel. And in this flood of energy, many will feel overwhelmed. They will confuse acceleration with chaos. They will try to cling to control. But the chosen ones, they will know that this flood is not drowning. It is birthing. Remember, harvest never arrives neatly packaged. It comes raw, untamed, demanding that you meet it with equal force. That is why your body may feel restless, your sleep broken, your dreams wild and vivid, filled with symbols you cannot explain. You are not losing your balance. You are being recalibrated. The watchers know this truth. That revelation is never the end but the beginning of responsibility. That harvest is never only joy but wait. That the chosen are not celebrated first. They are tested again, deeper, sharper, until they become the vessel that can hold what is coming. And so October unfolds like a riddle. Each day after the harvest moon feels like both collapse and creation. And that is the paradox Saturn has always held. Because Saturn is not only the gatekeeper of endings but the architect of beginnings. For some, this will be too much. They will resist the pressure, and in resisting, they will crack. But for you, the chosen, this pressure is proof. Proof that the universe sees you ready. Proof that your time has come. So do not be afraid if October feels heavier than you expected. Do not run if you feel stripped of what once comforted you. The stripping is sacred. The weight is holy. And the silence after the supermoon is not emptiness. It is initiation. Chosen one, hear this clearly. October has not come to destroy you. It has come to deliver you. The harvest was never random. It was written. And you were always meant to walk through it. Now, it is your turn. Your turn to carry what was given. Your turn to plant what was revealed. Your turn to step into the valley of responsibility with the courage that Saturn demands. Because while the world sleeps again, you remain awake. While others close their eyes, you keep watch. And while many will forget the supermoon, you will never forget. And that is why you are the chosen. The harvest is here. The testing is complete. The weight is upon you. But so is the crown. If this transmission stirred your spirit, share it. If you feel the weight, comment below with the words, "I am ready." And if you are among the chosen ones who hear the call, make sure you stay connected, because the story of this season has only just begun.